Welcome back to Mythical Men Quest. Today we are talking about something that's probably costing you more than you realize. And I'm not talking about your coffee habit. I'm talking about delayed action. Stick around because by the end of this video, you will understand why that thing you've been putting off is getting harder every single day and what you do about it. The compound interest of courage. Why delayed action costs you more. You know that conversation you've been putting off? The healthy habit you've been keep saying you'll start next week, Monday? That financial decision you are avoiding. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Every day you wait, you're not just maintaining the status quo, you are actively making it harder on yourself. Life constantly presents us with a choice between discomfort now or consequences later. And here's what most people don't realize. The price of avoidance compounds like that. What starts as a simple conversation becomes a relationship-ending conflict. What begins as skipping a few workouts becomes a healthy crisis. What feels like just this once with your finances becomes years of financial insecurity. In this piece, I'm going to show you why delayed action doesn't preserve your peace, it steals your future. And more importantly, how embracing immediate discomfort is actually the path to becoming someone who can handle anything life throws at you. The compound effect of avoidance. Think about compounding interest for a moment. When you invest early, your money grows exponentially over time, but compound interest works both ways. When you avoid taking action, you are accruing the compound debt on your life. Consider a boundary rupture in a relationship. Maybe your partner said something that hurt you, or you crossed the line yourself. In that moment, an apology and quick repair conversation might take in 10 minutes and some vulnerable honesty. Uncomfortable, absolutely, but manageable. Now fast forward 2 weeks, the initial hurt has festered, you've both been acting distant, other small issues have piled on top. Now you're not just addressing the original problem, you're dealing with the original rupture, plus the neglect of it, plus all the secondary issues that emerged because you didn't address it. What could have been a 10-minute repair conversation now requires hours of unwinding that what happened, why it happened, and how to prevent it from happening again. The same principle applies everywhere. What workout you skip today? It's not just one workout. It's the beginning of a pattern that makes starting tomorrow even harder. The difficult email you are avoiding, it's not getting easier to write. It's getting more awkward as time passes and the silence grows louder. The math is simple but brutal. Immediate discomfort stays relatively small and contained. Delayed discomfort multiplies and spreads. What your brain is really doing when you are avoiding. Here's something fascinating that happens neurologically. When we avoid discomfort, we are literally teaching your brain that the things we are avoiding is dangerous. Your emotional mind creates stories. If I bring this up, they'll get angry. If I start exercising now, I'll feel exposed at the gym. If I look at my finances, I will feel like a failure. These fears feel real and protective in the moment. They are your brain trying to keep you safe. But here's the problem. Every time you listen to that fear and avoid the action, you reinforce the neural pathway that says this thing is too dangerous to face. The avoidance itself becomes training program for your anxiety. You've learned this the hard way. I've used to avoid confrontation like it was my job. The emotional mind would flood me with every possible worst case scenario, but my critical mind knew the truth. There is no hiding or getting away from it, and the longer it takes, the more difficult it gets. The beautiful paradox. The very thing that makes it harder, it also can make you stronger. Each time you feel the fear and take action anyway, you are retraining your brain. You're proving to your nervous system that this dangerous thing is actually survivable and that you're capable of handling it. The strength that comes from repetition. Here's where it gets interesting. At first, having difficult conversations around sensitive topics feels incredibly challenging. Your heart races, your palms sweat, you rehearse what you're going to say 17 times. The discomfort is real and intense. But here's what happens with repetition. The insecure voice in your head gets quieter, not because the stakes are lower, quite the opposite. you become stronger and able to handle much higher stakes with a lot more grace. Think of it like strength training. The first time you try to lift the weight, it feels impossibly heavy, your muscles shake, and you can barely manage it. But if you keep showing up and doing the work, the same way eventually feels easy. Then you can move on to heavier weights that would have crushed you before. Emotional courage works the same way. Each difficult conversation you have, each boundary you set, each uncomfortable action you take builds your capacity. You're not just resolving the immediate issue, you're training yourself to be brave. You are becoming someone who jumps headfirst into uncomfortable situations to resolve them as soon as possible, rather than letting them fester. The person who consistently takes immediate action on hard things isn't experiencing less fear than you. They've just built up their courage muscle through repetition. They've proven to themselves over and over again that they can handle discomfort. So they trust themselves to handle it again. And that trust, that's worth more than comfort ever was. 3 life domains where this plays out. So let's get practical. This principle shows up in 3 major areas of life, and understanding each one can help you spot where you might be accruing compound debt right now. Health and lifestyle. You can choose a healthy lifestyle now. The workouts that feel hard, the meals that require planning, the sleep schedule that means saying no to late night scrolling. Or you can deal with limited health and medical challenges later. The difficult truth is that your body is either getting stronger or weaker. Maintenance is a myth. You're always moving in one direction or another. Relationships and communication. You can have the uncomfortable conversation to clear up a misunderstanding now, or you can let it fester and watch it degrade the relationship over time. Every avoided conversation is a small deposit in the bank of resentment. Eventually, that bank account gets too full and the relationship collapses under the weight of all the things that were never said. Financial security. You can plan for your financial future and sacrifice some present opportunities, that vacation, the car upgrade, that expensive hobby. Or you can pay later by needing to work until much later in life, risking financial insecurity when you're less able to hustle your way out of it. The compound interest of good financial decisions is retirement. The compound interest of avoidance is working it until you can't anymore. In each domain, the pattern is identical: short-term discomfort or long-term consequences. In each domain, the earlier you act, the easier it is. Self-love and past mistakes. Now, if you're reading this and thinking about all the time you've avoided action, all the situations you've let compound, all the ways you've made things harder for yourself, stop right there. This isn't about beating yourself up. Recognizing past mistakes isn't the same as criticizing yourself. It's actually an act of self-love to look honestly at where you've been struggled and say, I can do better moving forward. I made the best decisions I could with the awareness you had at the time. Maybe you didn't know that avoidance would compound. Maybe you didn't have the tools, the strength to face those difficult moments. That's okay. That was then. The question isn't, why didn't I do this sooner? The question is, what am I gonna do now that I know? Every single day is a new opportunity to start taking immediate action on the things that matter. You don't need to fix everything at once. You just need to stop the compound debt from growing and start making deposits in the compound growth account instead. One conversation, one workout, one honest look at your bank account, one small act of courage at a time. So here are the key takeaways, essential insights for taking immediate action. Avoidance compounds like that. What feels like preserving your peace today becomes exponentially harder to face tomorrow. Your brain interprets avoidance as danger. Each time you avoid something, you train your nervous system that is too threatening to face. Courage is built through repetition. The first difficult conversation is terrifying. The 50th one is just another conversation where you're handling business. The repair to damage ratio shifts quickly. A simple apology becomes a multi-hour unwinding session if you wait too long. Immediate discomfort stays contained. Delayed discomfort spreads. Handle it now while it's small, or handle it later when it's infected everywhere around it. Recognition without self-criticism is growth. Looking at past avoidance honestly is self-love, not self-attack. So here, what is your next move? Here's the bottom line. You're going to experience discomfort either way. The only question is whether you want to experience controlled, contained discomfort that makes you stronger, or compounded, sprawling discomfort that makes your life harder. The path forward isn't becoming fearless. It's about feeling the fear and taking action anyway. It's about recognizing that the temporary sting of an uncomfortable conversation beats the chronic ache of a damaged relationship. It's about understanding that a burn of a workout beats the pain of declining health. It's about accepting that the sacrifice of planning financially beats the desperation of having no options later. Start with one thing today, not tomorrow, not next Monday, today. One conversation you've been avoiding, one decision you've been putting off. One small step towards the discomfort that makes you stronger rather than the avoidance that makes life harder. Every time you choose immediate action over delayed consequence, you're not just solving a problem, you are becoming the kind of person who can handle anything. And that person, that's who you're meant to be. What's the one uncomfortable action you've been avoiding that you know would compound if you put it off any longer? And more importantly, what's stopping you from handling it right now? So if this video helped you recognize an area where you've been avoiding action, do yourself a favor and drop a comment below with one thing you're committing to handle this week. No judgment, just accountability. And if you know someone who needs to hear this message, share this video with them. Sometimes we all need that reminder that we are stronger than we think. I'll see you in the next one.